As things start to get colder and colder here in Colorado Springs, it's got me thinking winter fragrances, because winter weather is going to come a bit sooner for me than it will for some of you. So in this video, I'm going to bring you 10 of my absolute favorite winter fragrances that these are my go-tos. These are what I look forward to wearing the most when the winter weather hits. So stay tuned. Starting with the fragrance I probably get most excited to wear when the cold weather hits, that being Dior Homme Parfum. Yep, I wear this exclusively in the cold weather. Oh man, because it's just such a beast. It's so thick and dense and warm, and it just screams, decent, nice leather jacket, or, wearing a suit and tie, or hell, even a real nice bomber jacket, to be honest with you, going somewhere, having a drink in the evenings. I think of this fragrance in the cold weather. It's an absolute monster. I've never worn more than 4 sprays with this fragrance. I probably never will, because it's way more than enough for me. This is one of the older 75 ml bottles. I do have 2 bottles of this, thankfully, because it's hard to get these days. I have not tried the 100 milliliter bottles. From what I understand, there's not much of a difference, if any at all. Maybe a little bit fresher up top, but I'm glad to have it. I should have enough sprays to last me the rest of my life. This is a masterpiece in my opinion. I also believe this to be one of the best designer fragrances ever created, because I am an iris lover, and this is a lovely iris leather fragrance that's, like I said, can be overwhelming if you spray too much, but definitely, I say definitely, but it 100% is the fragrance I look forward to the most when winter weather rolls around. Is Dior Homme Parfum. Another one that's quintessential winter is the Spice Bomb line. Really all but the fresh. I mean, really, you can wear the fresh flanker as well, the discontinued one that I believe should have never been discontinued. You can wear all of them in the cold, but obviously the main one for the cold is Spice Bomb Extreme. The hype beast itself. I mean, this stuff is magnificent. Man, spices, tobacco, vanilla, it's warm, it's a little sweet, it performs, it checks all the boxes of what makes a great winter fragrance. That's why so many people rave about this fragrance. Now, is it for everyone? No, but the majority agree. This is one of the best winter fragrances money can buy. Has been for a long time. It's the only time of year that I like to wear it, because I have all of them, so I tend to wear them according to how I see them best per season. And for me, this is the best one in the line for the winter, the coldest of weather, especially out in the snow. One of my favorites for sure, Spice Bomb Extreme. This one I wear more so around Christmas time, not just the winter, because it's my favorite coffee fragrance. It screams Christmas time to me, and you'll know why once you see what it is. It's Happyland Studios Homme for the Holidays. So the decaf edition, at the recording of this, is releasing in a few days. I just got my bottle. Outside of the first impressions, I haven't spent any time with it, so that didn't even have a chance to get in right here. But this one I've been wearing for a few winters in a row now, specifically during the holiday shopping season as we move into Christmas. It's basically a December fragrance for me. That's really the only time I wear it. Oh man, this is another one that I pretty much exclusively wear for the winter, because it screams holidays. It's not just the label. It's not just a clever play on words. It smells like, hanging around with the family for Christmas, having breakfast, pot of coffee out there on the counter while you're, eating some nice waffles with syrup drizzled all over the top of them. Those of you that have heard me talk about this one before, you've heard me say that every time. And like I said, it's my favorite coffee fragrance. And that's a bold statement right there. And actually, this isn't the only coffee fragrance in this video, but hands down my favorite. If I only had to keep one that featured coffee heavily, it would be Homme for the Holidays. It's a beast. 4 sprays, all I need. It's on average anywheres in the 14 to 16 hour range from previous times of me clocking the lifespan of it. It's outrageous. If you want a beast, a gorgeous coffee gourmand, Happy Land Homme for the holidays is the way to go. Basically, if Baccarat Rouge 540 was a spicy fragrance, I guess this is kind of the route it would go. That being Parfums de Marly Cologne. Another one I wear exclusively in the cold, in the winter. Whew, man, super polarizing. I know there's a lot of people that can't stand this fragrance. There's some of you watching this video right now that don't get it. Why is this one of my favorite winter fragrances? It's so different, I dig the hell out of it. Bright, zesty orange up top, a bunch of warm spice, some woods, there's a mild floral tone. There's the mildest of resemblance to Baccarat Rouge 540. That's why I even say that, because it's faint. It's not direct, it's not super close. There's a faint resemblance as it starts to dry, but overall there's, and this is gonna sound kind of weird, some of you may have heard me say this before, picture a red rubber ball, that strange rubbery smell. I get a little bit of that here. And it's oddly addictive. Performs, this is one that's beastly on my skin. Don't need but 4 or 5 sprays. Projects heavy, long, strong scent trail. 12 plus hours on my skin. I don't believe I've ever gotten less than like 10 hours on my skin. This stuff performs. It's a beast. It's unique. And I love spicy fragrances. And this is one of my favorite spicy fragrances in my collection, especially for the winter. That's why you may not even see this in the winter niche list for me this year, because that's kind of why I'm making this video, because these are the obvious choices. I'm gonna wear these this winter, so I might as well talk about them in their own video. That way you don't have to see some redundancy year to year in these lists. So this winter, I'm definitely looking forward to wearing Cologne. It's one of my favorites. One of the best boozy tobaccos on the market, in my opinion. Prominent cognac, has that Coke float type of smell going for it. It's Raja Parfum's Creation E, also known as Enigma over in Europe and other countries outside of the United States. Whew, man, this is special. Whew. The heliotrope, the way the heliotrope comes off with this cognac, I don't get a lot of tobacco until it starts to settle into the heart, but up top, the way the benzoin and the heliotrope kind of work with this cognac note, and it's got the Dr. Pepper float, Coke float type of smell that you may have heard of about this fragrance. Completely get that. It's got that fizzy, effervescent quality. I believe that's the heliotrope adding to this benzoin. So the benzoin definitely has a strong role in that, in my opinion. At least that's what I think is causing it. As it starts to settle in, you get a little bit of spices that start to come in. This lovely kind of moist tobacco as it settles into the heart in the early dry down. It's a very complex fragrance. I mean, it's Raja Parfums. There's a ton of notes listed, but overall, it's boozy, it's sweet, it's warm, it's spicy. It's a mild tobacco. It's not overly done. It's not real heavy, earthy tobacco or anything like that. And another one performs really well, cuts through the cold, very easy. Definitely one of my favorites. I don't wear it all the time. It's kind of a special occasion winter fragrance for me. That's why there's not a huge dent in it. But when I get in the mood, we have a special event, something special going on. It's between this and Dior Homme Parfum when it comes to the cold weather. I'm definitely looking forward to pulling this one out again. Creation E Parfum Cologne from Raja Parfums. Another fantastic iris leather fragrance that I think is just great for the winter time. It's Prada Lhomme Intense. I actually have 2 bottles of this, so I want to make sure I never run out of this stuff. God, it's so good. And it's that soapy iris. So Prada's known for taking neroli, taking lavender, taking iris, making a soapy fragrance out of those floral notes. Nothing short of amazing here for making a soapy leather fragrance. Yes, there's a little bit of a slight earthiness to the patchouli here. It's kind of a moist leather, if you will. It's a very soft leather. It's not animalic or rough in any way. Blended with this soapy, powdery iris. Beautiful. It's refined, but not too dressy. So this is one that can dress up and dress down very easily. It'll go just fine with a hoodie like I'm wearing right now, but one that goes great with a suit and tie, special event type of stuff. But it doesn't have to be. That's the beauty of this. It doesn't smell like a scent profile that I believe has to be dressed up. For being leather, for being iris, it's not too formal. That's the beauty of this fragrance. Very, very everyday type of fragrance in the cold weather if you like iris. and it's definitely one I really enjoy. 8+ hour fragrance, performs very well. Not a beast, but definitely an above average performer. Always looking forward to wearing this one in the winter. Prada Lhomme Intense. Now this is one I've only had for one winter so far, so it's not super new to the collection, but I definitely deem it great for the winter. So this is a designer oud rose that's on the higher end of quality in my opinion. It's Dolce & Gabbana The One Mysterious Night. I love this stuff. I wore it sporadically through the winter last year. Oh man, let me spray it one more time. It's so good. It's a jammy rose. It's beautiful. The oud's not overly done. It's a mildly medicinal type of oud, but the rose is the biggest star of the show here, and it's a very thick, rich, jammy rose. Not for everyone, not for the faint of heart, but for those that love a good oud rose from a designer market, this is a damn good oud rose. Really enjoy this one. Very strong performer. Some spices start to settle into the heart. It becomes very warm, woody in the dry down. It's just an overall lovely fragrance. It's got a nice powdery nature to it without being too powdery, which I do like those moderately powdery fragrances, especially this time of year, as you can tell by some of the fragrances in this list. This falls right in line with that. Like I said, I got it last winter, so I haven't spent a ton of time with it. I have worn it a handful or so of times, and I'll probably be doing the same this winter. I'm pretty excited to pull this one back out because I deem this ideal for the cold. This is another one, dresses up very well. Not really a t-shirt type of oud and rose fragrance, you know what I mean? This is one that I would deem Oxford and above for sure. Begs you to dress it up. It's got a more classy, formal type of approach, but damn sure smells good. Looking forward to wearing this one. Dolce & Gabbana The One Mysterious Night. So this is that other coffee fragrance I was talking about. That these are my top two, really. This is my second favorite coffee fragrance. It's so unique. It's such a great fragrance. I had to get a big old bottle of it. It's Boss the Scent Private Accord. This is a big 200 milliliter bottle. I love this stuff. This stuff is fan-damn-tastic. If you haven't smelled it, you're doing yourself a disservice. I love the Absolute. I've gotten the Absolute since this, and it's very, very good. It runs a close race with which one's my favorite in the line, but this is the one I just always go back to. There's dark chocolate, there's that lovely, slightly boozy Maninka fruit here, there's some soft leather, and there's this lovely roasted coffee note. It performs, but it's not too loud. The magic's in the trail with this one. I had a coworker that used to wear this one all the time when I worked at Mercedes. So I used to get it. I used to be able to enjoy it as someone wearing it and as a passerby smelling it on someone else. So this fragrance is magical in my opinion. This stuff smells great out in the air. It smells great directly off the skin. It is one of the quintessential fragrances for winter in my opinion. There's never a better time than some lovely, crisp, cold weather to spray on Boss the Scent Private Accord. And this winter, as per usual, it'll be getting some pretty heavy run. So this is another one that I just got last winter, so I haven't spent a ton of time with it, but it is ideal for winter. Shout out to Dan Spanos. He actually sent me this bottle because he wasn't using it and thought it would go to a good home with me. And it absolutely did. That being Bulgari Man Black Orient. I've had a lot of people ask me on where to find this one. I don't know. I was having trouble finding it when Dan reached out to me knowing I was looking for it and offered it up to me. Again, shout out to you, Dan. You're the real MVP. Thank you, because what's different about this from Man in Black is there's a moderate synthetic oud here, extremely wearable, not too heavily medicinal, just more of a warm wood, oudy type of smell with a bunch of spice. A bunch of spice dialed up. This stuff performs. This is every bit of 8 to 10 hours. It is phenomenal. This is the better version of Man in Black. The booziness isn't as high. The florals are pretty much non-existent as compared to the original. You crank up the spice, you sprinkle in a little bit of oud, and you dial up the performance. You get Man Black Orient, a stunning spicy fragrance lover's fragrance. This is great. If you're into spicy fragrances, this is a great spicy fragrance. It's a shame, from what I understand, it's discontinued. I'm not 100% certain on that, but I believe that's why it's so hard to find. It's fetching a pretty penny on eBay, I know that. So if you can find it for a decent price, it's a damn good fragrance. It performs, and it's great if you're into spices. I'm definitely going to be giving this a lot more run this winter. Bulgari Man Black Orient. Last but certainly not least, even though I have the newest flanker in the line, and it's a bit spicier, and probably will work fantastic in the winter, for me, this is still the quintessential Sauvage for the cold. That being Sauvage Parfum. Another one, my big 200 milliliter bottle. The stuff is great. This was my favorite until Elixir came along. And this still runs a super close, like 1A and 1B, with which one's my favorite between this and Elixir. Wind got away from me. There we go. Smoky, sweet. Still has that ambroxan smell, even though ambroxan's not listed in the notes. The heart of this fragrance is still there. It's still Sauvage. This is much more close to Sauvage than Sauvage Elixir as far as the original's DNA. I still get plenty of soapy shower gel and ambroxan smell in here, but like I said, the olibanum's very present. There's a lot more sweetness. The lavender is very strong here, adding that soapy nature, but it's not too soapy. It's clean, but still smoky and sweet at the same time. This stuff lasts forever and ever and ever. I go anosmic very easy to this one because some people seem to think it doesn't perform that well. Not really. That's not the case. You're going anosmic because I've had people 8-9 hours into wearing this tell me, "Ooh, you smell great," from 3 or 4 feet away as I walk by. Okay, I go anosmic to it, and that's probably what's happening to you. For me, like I said, before Elixir came along, this was my favorite version of Sauvage. I caught a great deal on fragrance net a while back, like $133 after the coupon code for this 200 ml. That's why I have a 200 ml, and it was a blind buy, but it was a great price to get 200 ml, and I was confident I would like it. And turns out I love it. I'll take this over the EDP. I'll take this over the EDT. Honestly, I recommend the EDP because it's a little bit more versatile, but for me personally, this stuff is to die for. It's great for the winter. It's not too in your face. It can still pull a compliment. It wears really well. It's got a strong warming capability on my skin. It's just great for the cold. Definitely looking forward to pulling this one out this winter. Dior Sauvage Parfum. Well, that is my 10 favorite winter fragrances that I can't wait to start pulling out this winter. We're getting pretty close with the recording of this. I'm outside. My hands are actually getting quite cold. It's in the low 40s. It's going to drop to the 20s tonight. So I'm starting to get that winter weather. So these fragrances you're about to start seeing a bit more in my weekly rotations. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. What's some of your favorite fragrances that you just wear specifically for winter that you just can't wait to dust off, pull out, and spray on your skin? Let me know down in the comments. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of my 10 favorites and you give them a spray now, might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.